It was the summer of 2011 when 5 of us decided to escape the city for a quiet weekend. We were college friends, Emily, Nathan, Claire, Daniel, and Mark, and we had found an old wooden cabin for rent deep in the forests of northern Sweden. The listing was obscure and oddly cheap, but the photos were stunning, surrounded by towering pine trees and near a peaceful river. We didn't ask too many questions. Mark was the one who contacted the owner. The man spoke in a strange, slow voice and simply said, "You'll have the place to yourselves. No one will disturb you. No one can disturb you." We laughed it off. We reached the cabin by dusk. It was exactly as the photos showed, aged, rustic, and isolated. The structure was 2 floors high, but it had a basement door sealed with a rusted chain. Etched into the wood of that door was a strange symbol, like a twisted cross carved with fingernails. Inside, everything seemed fine at first. The air was heavy, though. It felt like the house had been holding its breath for decades. That night, Nathan had a nightmare. He woke up screaming, saying he saw us all trapped underground, while a tall shadow laughed and whispered, "Your blood will feed the gate." I thought it was stress. But the next morning, Claire found something disturbing. On the wall beside her bed, written in what looked like charcoal, was a single sentence: "Stay for the second night, if you dare." The electricity went out completely. There was no phone signal. No internet. We lit a fire in the fireplace and tried to keep each other calm. But around 2 a.m., we started hearing whispers from beneath the floorboards. Faint children's laughter. Footsteps on the locked basement stairs. Then, one of the windows shattered. Mark, trying to be brave, grabbed a flashlight and went outside to check. He never came back. At dawn, we followed his footprints in the dirt. They stopped suddenly near the river. All we found was a rock covered in blood, and a trail that led to nowhere. That evening, Daniel and Nathan decided to break the chain on the basement door, despite Claire and I begging them not to. They pried it open with a crowbar. The smell that rose from the dark was sickening, a mix of rot, old blood, and something animal-like. The basement was worse than we imagined. Symbols drawn in dried blood, walls covered in strange drawings of people crucified upside down, and in the center, an old book bound in a cracked, black leather cover. Daniel touched it, and almost immediately began to bleed from his nose and ears. He whispered in a voice not his own, "The gate is open again. They can smell us." That night, we lost Claire. I found her hanging from the cabin's ceiling beam. Her eyes were turned completely white, and carved across her arms were ancient symbols, the same ones from the basement walls. Nathan collapsed in a corner and began mumbling. "The blood, it calls to them. We can't stop it. It wants us." I tried to leave. But no matter how far I ran, the forest kept leading me back to the same path. The trees twisted behind me, blocking the road. It was like the forest itself didn't want us to leave. Daniel was gone by morning. His bed was soaked in blood, but there was no body. On the last day, I found Nathan dead in the living room. He had slit his own throat. He had drawn a strange sigil on the floor with his blood, surrounding the black book. The cabin began to burn around me, with no clear source of the fire. Before I ran out, I carved a warning into the wooden door with a hunting knife. "If you find this cabin, do not enter the basement. Do not touch the book. It doesn't stop with us." I barely made it out. Local authorities arrived days later. They found the cabin in ruins, no bodies, just a scorched book, and a sealed stone staircase beneath the ashes. The man who had rented us the place was never found. The listing disappeared. But late at night, children's voices are still heard from the woods, calling for help, laughing, or crying. I have never gone back. But I still dream of that symbol. And sometimes, I wake up with dirt under my fingernails. Speech balloon, what do you think? Was it all just fiction? Or is there really something waiting in the woods? Tell us in the comments. If you were in Emily's place on that final night, would you open the basement, or run for your life? Eyes drop of blood. Repeat button. Share this story with someone who loves horror. But don't read it before bed. Face screaming in fear. Evergreen tree. Autumn of 2019, a young woman named Anna Mitchell was searching for a fresh start after a year of emotional collapse. She had lost her father, ended her engagement, and fallen into a deep depression. With limited savings and a desperate need for solitude, Anna moved to a quiet city and started looking for a cheap place to live. That's when she stumbled across a strange listing online. Furnished apartment for rent, Unit 104, extremely low price, located near the metro, available immediately. She called the number. An elderly woman answered with a frail, dragging voice. "You'll be alone there," the woman said. "It's perfect for quiet girls." Anna was skeptical, but curiosity got the better of her. The next day, she visited the building. It was old, with 5 crumbling floors, cracked walls, and a rusting elevator that hadn't worked in years. The hallways smelled of dampness and dust. Apartment 104 was on the 4th floor. The moment Anna stepped inside, she felt it, a presence, a weight in the air, as if someone invisible was watching her. The apartment wasn't anything special. A small bedroom, a narrow living room, a modest kitchen, and a dim bathroom. She ignored the unease and signed the lease the next day. The first night was quiet, until exactly 3:13 a.m., when she heard footsteps echoing through the hallway outside. Slow. Deliberate. She checked through the peephole. No one. But then, she heard footsteps inside the apartment, pacing slowly behind her bedroom door. She didn't sleep that night. The second night, Anna woke up to find the bathroom door wide open. She was sure she had shut it. On the fogged mirror, a message had appeared. "Who entered my home?" She stood frozen. Her breath caught in her throat. The mirror was cold, but the letters were fresh, like written from the inside. She tried to dismiss it all as stress, lack of sleep, imagination. But on the third night, the haunting became undeniable. She awoke feeling someone sitting on her bed. She was paralyzed, unable to move, speak, or breathe properly. Cold breath grazed her face. Then she saw her, a woman, soaked in water, hair covering most of her gray face, her eyes hollow and lifeless. The woman whispered, "104 is mine." Anna screamed, turned on every light. No one was there. But the feeling lingered. The next morning, she asked the building's janitor, an old man who had been working there for decades. When she mentioned apartment 104, he went pale. "That place, bad things happened there," he said. "A girl named Lily Green used to live in 104. She drowned herself in the bathtub 5 years ago. Ever since, nobody lasts there. They all leave within a week. One girl ended up in a psychiatric ward." Anna tried to shake it off. She lit candles, hung crosses and spiritual charms, played peaceful music. But the apartment wasn't hers anymore. On the 5th night, she heard crying under her bed. Not a child's, but a deep, broken sobbing. Like an elderly woman choking on her tears. When she looked beneath, nothing was there, except for a single bloody handprint on the floor. The 6th night, Lily appeared again, but not in the room. In the mirror. She stood behind Anna's reflection, staring through her with an expression of grief and rage. Light bulbs flickered. Doors slammed. Anna's dreams were filled with water, blood, and the bathtub overflowing endlessly. The final night, at exactly 3:13 a.m., Anna awoke, frozen. The door creaked open, and Lily entered, gliding, not walking. Her wet dress left puddles on the floor. She leaned over Anna and whispered into her ear, "Whoever lives here, lets me live through them." The room went black. When Anna opened her eyes, she was in a hospital. The janitor had found her unconscious the next morning, bleeding from her ears and whispering, "She's inside me," over and over. She never returned to apartment 104. She left everything behind. Clothes, phone, documents. Nothing was worth taking. But sometimes, when the clock strikes 3:13 a.m., Anna still hears a soft voice in the back of her mind whisper, 104 is mine. And somewhere in that rotting apartment, Lily is still waiting.